Hey folks, welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy X-2 second playthrough. Yuna is a bitch, but is going to get the happy ending anyway edition. So I'd mentioned a few times in comments about this one cinematic that I have not been able to trigger despite my best efforts. And I could remember clearly a cinematic where Riku threatened the world with Final Fantasy X-3, which is going to be starring her. Basically, it was a cinema where we're very close to nearing the end of this adventure. Like, I knew it was a late game cinema where Yuna finds Riku on the deck of the ship, kind of just in her own thought. I hesitate to say thoughts with Riku. Boom, boom. No, but Riku's kind of lost in her own thoughts, and Yuna finds out that Riku's feeling a little bad about the fact that she always seems to be a sidekick of Yuna's, and is wondering when, like, the big exciting journey of her life is going to start. And rather than Yuna being like, you got to hang out with the most famous person in Sphera and help save the world twice, and you have a much more exciting life than everyone you know except me, Yuna's like, oh, don't worry, next time it'll be your journey. And it's touching and nice, except that it's threatening us with the game starring Riku, which never came to pass. So one of my, YouTube, follower, subscriber, not somebody I've noticed their name popping up a whole bunch of different times, but Lacrimosai, I think I'm pronouncing that right. It might be Lacry. It's a made-up YouTube name. There's no way to know how to pronounce it. But he popped up, and it's like, you still going on about this deck scene? And then he explains how to do it, and it's like, and at first I'm like, well, I'm still going on about it because nobody told me how to trigger it. But he explained how to trigger it. Problem is, that he basically explained it, and I'm like, oh, I see. I will not be able to trigger that. Thanks for explaining it, Lacrimosai. So the scene is real. I didn't dream it up. I spent like 2 or 3 minutes trying to find it on YouTube, and I just wasn't searching for the right search terms or whatever. But I'm sure it's out there somewhere, probably on somebody else's Let's Play the Game, actually. But you are supposed to trigger it about the point in the game we're at now, when you're getting ready to go fight Vegnagun and end the game. But you have to have brought Sid on board the airship to trigger it, because it's tied in with a bunch of stuff where, we had some wacky scenes with Brother and Riku arguing with Sid in our first playthrough, where I did everything the way you're supposed to do it, and played through all the side quests, and told off Sid about ruining Yuna's memories of the Xanarkand ruins and blah 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 blah. And this time around, I intentionally did stuff wrong just because I was curious to see what was different. As a result, there are things that changed. We never got, matter of fact, let's go to the cabin right now. Because I had a save slot. I have 2 save slots from before New Game Plus started. For some reason, I have a save slot right at the beginning of Act 1, where I think I'd just done a bunch of work in Creature Creator to try to get skills unlocked and whatever. And then the only other save I have is right before the final boss battle. And I think that save is too late, because if I go to my cabin in that save, it's the end of our first playthrough. We have all sorts of wacky fun going on in this cabin. You come in here, you've got Barkeep there has a female Hypello that's like, and they're having like zany Hypello sex party. There's a bunch of chocobos. There's like 3 chocobos running around in here. Callie is standing over here. Owaka is no longer on the bridge because he left after we paid off his debt. And we have Sid up here sleeping, like lying on a bed, grumbling about how I don't even care anymore. You kids do what you want. I'm just old grandpa's just gonna be up here. And now we come in here and we got none of that, because all that is stuff that you get for doing little side quests. And like talking to different people at different points and just triggering shit that we didn't trigger. So we don't have any of that. And if we had that, apparently if you go to the far plains and you find LeBlanc and her crew waiting, and they're waiting around in the far plains abyss before they move forward to try to encounter rescue Nuge. And you have to get to that point, pop back to the ship, do a bunch of scenes, including the one where Sid and Brother and Riku are all arguing. Then you pop back to the Far Plains Abyss, talk to those people again, then go back to the ship, and you trigger a second set of stuff, which includes Riku and Yuna talking on the deck. The problem is, in my save game from the last playthrough, I'd already progressed farther than that. So apparently there's a window of opportunity for you to trigger that scene, and it's passed. And the other game slot is from Act 1, and I'm not playing through 4 acts again to show you that scene. And in this game, we intentionally went around not doing any of the stuff like getting Sid on the ship, and like, you know, we intentionally let the Ronso commit genocide on the Guado, because I was like, I've never done that before. Is the game really going to make that happen? And apparently it does. So we like intentionally kind of, it's like that crazy episode of Quantum Leap where Al became the devil and said that you put wrong what you put right, what I intentionally put wrong, and now you'll pay, Dr. Samuel. But it was a really strange episode of Quantum Leap, which implied that Satan was opposed to Dr. Samuel Beckett. Anyway, now here we are at the end of the second playthrough, where we have our party of Lulu, Brother, and Buddy, and I'll be kind of curious as to whether they can handle a boss fights down here at this point in the game, because we really don't have anything left to do except fight the bosses. I still think the going should have gone up to Encore. Oh, that's right, the last thing we did was to see what happens when you try your best to ignore Tobley for the entire game. Tobley should have been on stage from the very start. He was horrible, but I guess you're right. It might have brought an end to his horrible dreams of success earlier.
Made up your mind? Where will you jump in?
Jump up my butt, you know. So I guess it's time for us to start the endgame.
Ah, the time for invasion has come.
Let us annex Poland. The city of Danzig is within the Polish corridor. No.
Yeah. What are we called now?
Does it really matter?
Why is Riku making a big point of listening in? I guess she doesn't know what they're called either.
Flapping, neighboring, gull wings, attack!
Whoa, such passion.
Seriously?
I'm so moved.
At any rate, let's go.
The going
So you're just blowing off Brother's big exciting thing.
Hey, none of this last mission business. You hear?
That's what they're gonna call the optional content that's packaged with the international edition.
Be careful.
I'll be fine. We're just going to talk after all.
You trying to suckle through that thing? Shinra, that's gross.
Save the huggies for your triumph.
It's like the 92 Bills to score a touchdown. And everyone just jumps up and hug it.
Hey, look what the boys thought of.
That's right.
We're gonna mansplain to you how to play the game.
Go, go, go! Go wings!
Why is it Brother, who is taller than Buddy, positioned in front of Buddy? And of course the girls immediately try to steal their thunder. It's like, how dare you guys think you got to do something in this game? Although if Shinra wasn't so fucking hard to unlock, they would have been fighting all the monsters for most of this run. As soon as I got sick of the LeBlanc Syndicate anyway. I might have to switch back to the LeBlancs. They're up to level 99, so if I decide I don't feel like solving the music hall puzzles, and I'm actually going to fight a bunch of, I'm going to fight Omega Weapon and a bunch of those, whatever the Atma Weapon guys are called in this one, I forget, instead of solving puzzles, then I would probably need pretty high-leveled computer characters, because I can't use any strategies to make any of this work. I think somebody is equipped with something to prevent random encounters on the way down there. Yeah, Yuna is playing the role that Brother used to play when I was actually controlling the Gull Wings. And is just there, equipped with a charm bangle at all times. So hopefully this is not one of the more annoying, I couldn't remember which road to the far plane was which, so I hope this isn't one of the more annoying ones. Some of the enemies in this portion of the game are fairly nasty, but of course we won't encounter any random enemies. This is going to be a matter of whether I set myself for particularly annoying puzzle segments. So we'll see how long it takes for these guys to defeat Dark Aeon. Ooh. It'll take that long. crystal well is being filled. And I guess talk to the save sphere to, I was just in the back of my mind thinking, okay, so who am I going to use to cast, like, Cure on everybody to get them ready for the next fight? And I'm like, oh, yeah. Don't worry about that so much. There's a treasure chest that I just completely ignored. Oh, it's the one where you have to time your sprint past little flames. Yeah, it's not so bad. Alright, boys and Lulu, time for you to fight out of the battle for the lazy wings. Oh, this one might take a second unless Lulu goes early. Because we might not, ooh, is that weird? It's like there's 6'9" in the middle of the sacred logo for that creature. Unless, Brother 1 hits them all with Party, which is the name of some bizarre attack he has. Yeah, maybe I don't have to worry about, intentionally setting it up so that they lose against, I'm trying to make sure that we have at least one loss, so that we can show the ending where you don't defeat Vegnagun. But I think Lulu's actually fragile enough that she could be in trouble without us having to intentionally set things up that way. I think Vegnagun is like noticeably more difficult than these bosses are, but honestly, it's hard. I don't really remember. Nothing about the end game in this game really seems that challenging. If you do like half of the optional side shit just to see all the content, you're gonna end up with characters that can handle the ending fairly easily. Which is weird because before they came up with the Creature Creator game, there really wasn't. This is not a game that has a whole lot of like crazy super bosses that you don't know how to defeat going on. I guess there's. You know what? I'm not bothering to backtrack to the saves here. Like there's Angara Mainyu, but I don't think that's really. Like if you try to ignore Angara Mainyu, I guess you miss out on some, yeah, that's like probably more difficult to defeat than the regular game bosses. Yeah, why am I trying to hoard X potions? I've got 99 of them. Even if I hit upon something I want to do in New Game Plus again that involves like smithing with vast quantities of items, and still I go back and I get 2 more X potions. Not a big deal. It's got like a Blessed Virgin Mary symbol on its chest or something. I think it'd go down faster than the Maggot Sisters. It could. Yeah, taking roughly the same amount of time. You do wonder how the LeBlanc Syndicate were able to make it down here. Presumably they were not attacked by Dark Aeons. Or they're like level 99 LeBlanc Syndicate like I was using in my Creature Creator. Tetrabat. And we got the Immortal Soul Karma Grid, which we probably already had. Let's go, get Brother and Buddy and Lulu to do more fighting for us. Oh, hey, what's up? Hey, Titus isn't around. Are you here to make fun of him?
I'm sorry. We weren't strong enough to stop him. We wanted to at least warn someone, but instead, we were dragged into the darkness.
We decided to warn Tope.
No better than fiends.
It's all right.
I'll clean up your mess.
Forgive us.
Oh, innocent ones.
Please, tell me. What is he?
What, Titus? He's your boyfriend. Oh, you
Shuyin?
mean Shuyin.
Just a shadow. It may look like him, but the real Shuyin died long ago.
Wait, you mean he may look like
Even
Titus?
after 1,000 years, his hate and misery linger on. His feelings grew so strong they began to act on their own.
He was a really petulant
Eventually,
whiner.
they became a shadow, a shade that wants only to vanish, but cannot.
Sucks.
Just a shadow. I can handle a shadow.
I've got a flashlight.
Are you sure?
Not really.
Yes, leave it to me. I'll banish shadow with light.
Light?
Len's feelings. That's right. Call it love.
Call it free. Part 1. Riff tracks. I'll banish shadow with light and other inane cliches. Oh, if only I'd rescued Sid, I would be able to have an exciting scene with Riku after this conversation.
Hey!
You certainly took your sweet time.
Yeah, whatever.
Why are you here?
Because
Defeated
the
of the
boss
bosses.
never goes against Lord Nuge's wishes.
That's why we're having
Found-
Chinese instead of pizza, even though
As
both
we was
Army and
heading
I
in,
want
we found
pizza.
a sphere addressed to the boss.
He said, "Don't follow me. Turn back now and wait for my return."
Actually doing
He
what
also
you're
said
told?
for me to get rid of
Oh, no.
the
What can I
marker,
say?
Sharpied
One
on
look at Nuji
part on my
Wuji's
boobs.
dashing visage on that spear, and I was, charmed. How could I say no to such a cutesy wootsy face?
Mm.
What if he?
What the hell is that thing that we were
Don't
staring at
worry.
anyway?
If he knows you're waiting, he has a reason to come home.
Even a Death Seeker
And
can be
wait I
turned back
shall.
from death by a hot chick.
We'll tell him that you're waiting like a good girl.
You do that, love, and don't forget to stress. Good girl.
Actually, stress girl, I'm feeling very old when I look at you little teeny bopper sluts. Got any information? So, mighty monsters are ready to kick our ass if we go in there. We can also buy no X potions. Oh my god, I might never get back up to 99. I guess they looked on the other side of it and then came back. Alright, so I didn't bother reading and voice acting any of that. So now, I guess we might as well see. Is it possible to trigger these scenes with Riku? We shouldn't be able to, per what I read in the comment from, what's this guy? Ormi and Logos are safe at LeBlanc, she is a nude, don't you think? Yeah, I do. That's kind of seems to be their only character trait collectively. Not like Nude to leave a sphere behind him must really be concerned. Normally he's carrying shit tons of spheres with him.
What are you looking at?
Some
Farm
porno.
plane data. The more I study it, the more fascinating it gets. There's limitless energy swirling around in there.
Limitless energy.
The
Oh,
life
this
force
scene.
that flows through our planet, I think.
Might be possible
With a
for us
little
to get
work,
the
we
scene
could
with
probably
Riku. I
extract the energy in a usable form.
Sweet.
What?
That's no fun.
Well, still, it is something worth shooting for.
Speaking of shooting,
Think how much Spear would change if we ever got it to work. Maybe one day we could build a city full of light, one that never sleeps.
now we could have pollution.
Just imagine. But I'll never get to see it, will I?
You're awfully fatalistic for someone in her late teens.
Shinra, don't make Yuna sad.
Stop twitching around like
My
that.
bad.
And as Split Infinity, I think's fact says, Final Fantasy VII is the connection. Because The rules say you cannot write on the internet and be coherent. So if we use the Farplane energy also, we'll end up like Xanarkand 1,000 years ago? Yeah, remember what happened to Xanarkand 1,000 years ago? You know how it's not there anymore? Energy source in the Farplane is that how Vagnagon powers itself? Now, I'm not like a big-time tree hugger or anything like that, but they're all excited about recreating a city that they know for a fact was destroyed by weapons of mass destruction.
Next stop, Farplane Abyss. Choose your route.
Okay, so we have a shortcut to the Farplane Abyss, which means that I could go and save my game and try again with, just in case there's some reason suddenly to talk to buddy. Wow, wait, there was a lot of... Why were there so many, hot spots? Oh, Blitzball. Okay. Yeah, these are all things that we don't care about. Like, we're not fighting we're not doing the Cactuar quest minigame. I mean, if it was just a matter of going and having a boss fight against Angria Mainyu, and I was curious to see if our, like, party members that we aren't controlling directly could handle that boss fight, that would be one thing. But I'm not going back and dealing with frickin' finding all the Cactuars and playing the little Cactuar minigames with all of them. No, that's not happening. Showcase that in the first run. So I'm just gonna quick see if we can trigger this scene. Not the way we're supposed, because we're supposed to go to the deck and get a scene with Buddy and Brother. But that's supposed to happen after the scene with Sid, which we don't get to see. So I think that's where the chain got broken, as I didn't follow up a scene with Sid. I didn't immediately follow that up with a scene we're supposed to see with Buddy and Brother, which will then eventually trigger a scene with Riku. I think that's where it collapsed. But in order to get it to work at all, you're supposed to go all the way back to the Farplane and then leave again. Just going through here in case there's something that could trigger. Never hurts to rest, because sometimes you wake up and there's a scene going on. I don't think we're getting that. I don't think we're getting the scene with Riku. I think it's not happening. But I'll just quick try and see if there's anything that we can do. So what we'll do now is we'll go back to the Farplane Abyss. We'll talk to LeBlanc and her peoples again. And then we'll visit all the locations on the ship in case there's some scenes happening. We can go to the engine room. I think one of the scenes might even happen in the engine room. I know that we talked to Sid in the engine room at one point. I'm pretty sure all these silly little things have to get triggered to trigger the scene at the end with Riku. That I don't think we're going to get. But you know what? It'll even out the video. We'll have a video where we went through the Farplane's Abyss, and then a nice video of us trying to trigger this scene, and that'll give us a nice 30-minute video so we can call it and come back next time and clear the last stage of game we can actually save and backtrack from, which is also the one that features the piano game. So we'll go straight to the Farplane Abyss. Oh, you mean it's not up to you, brother and our buddy and Lulu? I kind of figured I'd stick you guys with it. Did you say pretty or pretty creepy? Haha, it's not gonna blow up now. We're down here, right? Oh. Did not actually mean to do that. I wonder if she says something when you say nothing. No. Alright, so we'll take one last half-hearted, sad, defeated stab at triggering a scene here. yeah, this is exactly what I was getting when I went back to my other save, where I had pretty sure I'd gone too far. Talking to all these guys in case one of them triggers something other than their plot function at this point.
My last.
Nope. So sad. Sad. So sad. Sorrows. So you guys are just gonna have to accept that this scene does exist and is a thing, and that had I been able to watch it and like kind of riff on it in my normal style of watching voice acted scenes and just riffing between lines, that it would have been awesome, hilarious, great. I suppose I could take another quick stab at finding another YouTube video of it. That's how I had to, in like a Mass Effect LP, that's how I had to showcase the Ashley romance, because I screwed up and somehow locked myself out of it, so I had to grab somebody else's video and of the gameplay and just talk over it, which is not normally what I'd like to do. Apparently one of the more heinous sins of like legendary like YouTuber people hate watch, I guess, Darkside Phil, whom I mentioned with the knowledge that he gets more, he has more subscribers than I'm ever gonna have, and I'm not really competing with the guy because apparently this is his only source of income. He actually does it instead of as a hobby, like as a living. But yeah, apparently he did a whole Let's Play of Final Fantasy 13-3 Lightning Returns, which I've played, and he couldn't beat the final boss. And I mean, having played through the game, that game's final boss is pretty tough. There's a pretty big difficulty, a pretty steep difficulty curve on that thing when you get to the final boss. You need to be pretty damn prepared. But apparently he fought it a couple of times, couldn't beat it, and then like got frustrated and showed somebody else beating it. But this guy's like a professional YouTube guy, so I only did it when I literally could not recreate the footage without playing through an entire game again because of something that happened. So I don't know why I'm even talking about that. All right, so anyway, we I mean, what we're waiting for is a scene where Riku is suspiciously absent from the deck. You'll see everyone else hanging around. I think even if you talk to Pain, she might be like, "Oh, where's Riku?" And if you go to the bridge, or no, she's not on the bridge. She's and then if you go up to the deck, Riku will be there, and you'll have a scene with her. But we don't get to have that. We can't have nice things. So I am going to stop my recording. I'm going to actually, I think, just take a quick minute to see whether I can grab that video off of the interwebs, like with less than, just a couple minutes searching. If I can find it, great, and if I can't, we're just going to move on with our lives. I'm Serious JG. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I hope you'll join me next time as we continue with the end game of Final Fantasy X-2, our second Yuna is a Bitch playthrough. Bye-bye.
Hey there folks, Serious JG here. I'm just going to tack this on to the end of the video. This is the actual scene that I was talking about, I was trying to get. I'd seen it before. I went through why I couldn't get it this time. But in fact, it was on YouTube, and I don't know what I was searching for before, but I just went on, and the first search string I searched was Final Fantasy X-2, Yuna and Riku on deck, and this was the first hit. This is from Boss Man D's YouTube channel. If you want to go check out his videos, I don't know that he's got any other videos I'm interested in. I just grabbed this one because this was the one I was kind of looking for. As it happens, I have actually finished Final Fantasy X-2 at this point. I mean the LP. I've recorded the rest of the LP. After I was done, I switched my recording setup to record off my laptop, and I'm tacking this on. So this is future JG, who's already seen all the endings, is already kicking himself for having gone through the second playthrough, as you'll find out why. But let's watch this. In a way, it's fitting that the last thing that I will do commentary on for Final Fantasy X-2, not counting Final Fantasy X-2 Last Mission, is this horrifying threat of a sequel starring Riku. people have loud footfalls in this universe. They're on the freaking deck of a ship. You shouldn't be able to hear anything except the wind. They shouldn't be able to hear each other, certainly.
Oh, it's my whole blonde thing. I'm just so dumb. It's really tiring.
It's just... Why do I always feel like I'm being left behind?
Well, we can get you a tutor.
Uni, you're changing. You want to change. And Payne's changed a whole bunch.
Well, I didn't really know Payne before, so I don't know that I can... you are falling behind, but it's more of a developmental thing. I mean,
But
you're special.
Riku, I have you to thank for that. If you hadn't invited me along, I might never have left Besaid.
I might have a happy, normal
And the way
life.
I was before, I could never have lived like this.
Dressed like this?
So, I think next time...
Next time?
Yeah, next time will be your story.
Next time, Gadget.
Ooh, really?
Next
What
time.
kind of story?
Sorry, a erotic horror story.
Let's see.
So, we're not gonna find out what kind of story it is?
It'll be a stunt driving story. Be another world
How's
story.
that for a beginning?
Do I get a hunky boy in my story?
Need one?
Yep.
Yeah.
I wonder what brother would say.
He's not invited.
Actually, he dies early in my story. It's the story of avenging his death.
I'll come up with something, I guess.
Yes, whatever.
You will,
I'm
Riku.
checking to see how much is
If
left.
anyone can do it, you can.
If anyone can write your story, I guess it would be you. I don't know that anyone can write your story, though.
Oh, well, that was sweet. And now, truly, the final thoughts of our Let's Play can be Goldberg looking at us going, because what better way is there to end your Final Fantasy X-2 Let's Play than Goldberg going, disastrous Riku. I mean, I don't even know what the... It's somebody else's Let's Play where they've photoshopped in more images of Riku than are needed. Yeah, so there you go, folks. She wants a hunky boy. Yeah. So, I mean, clearly, she wants either Ryuta or Vanilla Ice to be her boyfriend in her own story. Brother is not invited to her story, which I think could be tastefully done. He could be murdered in, like, the background of the story could be that Brother's been murdered and Riku must avenge his death. I don't know. We'll figure it out, folks. Because if anybody can write Riku's story, we can, in the comments section of this video. But, probably not. Anyway, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the rest of the LP. I enjoyed the LP because for me it's over. And you'll see me later with future episodes of this, and I'll see you guys for Final Fantasy X-2, the Twin Towers, or whatever the fuck that game is called. Last mission, yeah. Already not too sure about that one, but we'll see.